If you are looking for a new gaming PC that fits your budget, your needs, and is going to allow you to play any game that you want, high FPS, then this is going to be the right video for you. Today I will show you the best pre-built gaming PC deals of the week. Most of these systems are on a discount, and I do recommend you buying these right now because the price to performance is actually pretty insane. And I will of course tell you what to expect out of these systems in terms of gaming performance. Now the links to all of these will be down below in the video description. My name is Valentino. With that being said, let's start. With the first one, we have the cheapest one on the list, and this one is the HP Omen 40L, going for $769. And this PC, in my opinion, is one of the best value systems out there for under $1,000 because you get the Ryzen 5 7600 alongside the RTX 4060. This CPU and GPU combo will allow you to play any game that you want at 1080p resolution, ultra settings with no limits. I have tested this exact same CPU and GPU combo, and you will be able to achieve 88 plus FPS on average in the most high demanding titles out there on high to ultra settings. And then in terms of esports games, you can expect well over 240 plus FPS on average. So if you want to buy a 240Hz monitor to play games like Fortnite or Valorant, this system is going to be enough. Now, I've never seen this system go for this low because right now it's on a huge discount. However, keep in mind that I do recommend you upgrading the memory, so I highly recommend you clicking on customize and buy and changing the memory to at least 16 gigs of RAM. That's going to make your gaming performance much faster, and if you upgrade this memory yourself, then it's gonna be a much cheaper upgrade. With the next one, we have this Skytech Nebula from Amazon. Now I have tested this system, I've made a complete review about it, so I will talk about that in just a moment. But anyway, this system, in my opinion, is the best system under $1,000. You get the same RTX 4060, this time you get the i5 13400F CPU, which is similar to the Ryzen 5 7600 in terms of performance, just slightly worse. But here you already have 16 gigs of RAM installed, and then you have a 1TB SSD, so you get more storage and more memory, and that's why I believe this one is better value than the last one, because in the last one, if you want to upgrade the storage as well, then it's going to be more expensive than this system. However, keep in mind that the HP Omen 40L has the Ryzen 5 7600, which is more upgradable over time, and is also a faster CPU. So if you are willing to buy more storage for the other system and spend the extra, then that's going to be the better option. But if you want the best price performance system, this one is better. And in terms of gaming performance, again, you can expect 240 plus FPS in esports shooters, and then over 88 FPS in high demanding ones like Cyberpunk 2077 and these type of games. And if you want to see my full review about it with benchmarks, and I go through basically everything inside of this system, you will have that video in the top right of the screen. With this system, you can also play at 1440p resolution with DLSS quality on and achieve a very smooth level of performance at around 70 plus FPS on average, which is actually pretty decent considering we are talking about 1440p high to ultra settings in high demanding titles. However, if you are going to be playing at 1440p, then the next system is actually much better, and I call this one the best value 1440p gaming system right now because it has the RTX 4070 Super, which is one of the best graphics cards in the market for 1440p. This system is the Skytech Shadow 4, and it's from the Skytech website. And then you get an i5 14400F CPU, and here you get 32 gigs of RAM instead of 16 gigs, which is going to be ideal if you want to do other tasks like streaming or content creation on the side. Then you get a 1TB SSD, and in terms of gaming performance, with the 4070 Super, you can expect over 100 FPS on average in high demanding titles, high to ultra settings at 1440p. And if you drop down to 1080p, then you can expect well over 120 FPS. In my opinion, this is an overkill for 1080p resolution. However, if you have a 1080p monitor and you want to upgrade to 1440p down the line, that's totally fine. In terms of esports shooters, you can expect well over 360 plus FPS when it comes to 1080p competitive settings, and then at 1440p competitive settings, you can expect well over 240 FPS. So if you want, you can buy a 240Hz 1440p monitor if you have this system. The price for this one is $1,400, so quite more expensive than the last ones, but I highly recommend you buying this one if you want to stay under $1,500 and you have a 1440p monitor, or you want to be able to play at 1440p with no limits. Also, with this system, you can play at 4K 60 plus FPS in native resolution, meaning no DLSS, and if you turn on DLSS, you can expect around 80 plus FPS, and I'm talking about the highest demanding titles out there, because if you play easier to run games like GTA 5 for example, or Minecraft, then you can expect way higher frame rates without having to turn any upscaler on. However, I must say the next system, in my opinion, is the best best 1440p gaming PC in terms of price to performance, and you can also play at 4K with no issues, no DLSS on if you do not want to play with any upscaling. This one is the Cyber PowerPC from Amazon, and it has the RTX 4070 Ti Super, which has 16 gigs of VRAM, while the 4070 Super from the last system has 12 gigs of VRAM, and 16 gigs of VRAM is going to be ideal if you want to play at 4K, or maybe you want to eventually upgrade to 4K down the line. Well, 16 gigs of VRAM is going to be enough even at 4K resolution, but keep in mind that this only matters in high demanding titles. So for example, if you want to play Alan Wake 2 on ultra settings at 4K, then it matters, but if you want to play easy to run games, those are not going to require more than 12 gigs of VRAM even at 4K resolution. So I just wanted to point that out. But anyway, in terms of performance, the 4070 Ti Super is able to average 120 plus FPS when it comes to 1440p ultra settings in high demanding games, and with this system you get the fastest CPU in the entire market in the Ryzen 7 7800X3D. So in terms of high CPU demanding games, once again Fortnite, Valorant, those esports shooters that do require more of your CPU, well, you will be able to play at 360 plus FPS when it comes to 1440p resolution competitive settings, and over 540 plus FPS at 1080p in case you want the highest refresh rate monitor out there, which are pretty expensive, but you can do so with this system pretty easily. Then you get 32 gigs of DDR5 memory instead of DDR4, and you get 2 terabytes of SSD, so you get more storage than any other system I mentioned in case you want to download more games. Now the price for this one is pretty decent at $1,700. Trust me, I've never seen a gaming PC with the 4070 Ti Super at this price point. Even though the price is not cheap by any means, this is actually a pretty decent price for a system with the fastest CPU in the market and one of the best graphics cards out there. And also the 4070 Ti Super is very capable of ray tracing, so if you want to play at 1440p and turn on ray tracing in your favorite games, you will be able to do so and still achieve a very smooth level of performance. Now there's another system that has the same CPU and GPU combo, so it's going to be basically the same in terms of performance. This one is the Skytech O11 Dynamic. It's quite more expensive at $1,989 after you apply my coupon code, which you will find in the video description, but in my opinion it's a better quality system, it has better reviews, and I can recommend Skytech with confidence because I bought their systems before and I had no issues. So if you want a more reliable system, then get this O11 Dynamic. Yes, it's going to be about $200 more if you apply my coupon code. If not, it's going to be around $400 more, and at that point that's a huge difference, so I highly recommend you adding the coupon code for you to have that extra $200 discount. And also in terms of aesthetics, I think this one looks much better than the Cyber Power system, but of course if you want to spend less and get about the same level of gaming performance, just go with the Cyber Power PC, because as I said before, the level of performance is basically the same. And on top of that, in the Cyber Power PC you get more storage in case you want to download more titles, but if you want something more reliable, then get this Skytech system instead. Now if you want to play at 4K resolution and you want better performance, we have the HP Omen 45L. This one has the RTX 4080 Super, which is a top 3 graphics card in terms of gaming performance, right next to the RX 7900 XTX and RTX 4090. So this system is top tier when it comes to 4K. In fact, you can expect 85 plus FPS when it comes to the most high demanding games out there at 4K resolution, high to ultra settings, and I'm not talking about DLSS on. So if you turn on DLSS, you can expect closer to 100 FPS on average, and then you get the i7 14700K alongside 16 gigs of RAM and a 1TB SSD. Now this is in my opinion the cheapest gaming system with the RTX 4080 Super, going for $2,300, which is once again not cheap, but usually systems with the 4080 Super go for at least $2,500, so that's a nice discount, and right now it's going for $700 discount, so it's on sale for a huge discount. Honestly, this is a very good system, but if you are willing to spend a bit more, you can get a more complete system that I will be talking about right now. However, if you upgrade the storage and memory kit on this one, you are getting a very complete system with 32 gigs of RAM, maybe 2 terabytes of SSD if you need it, and then the 4080 Super, as I said before, one of the best graphics cards out there when it comes to 4K resolution gaming. You can also use it for 1440p very high FPS, but I do think it's an overkill for 1440p and I would recommend it more for 4K, but of course it's up to you and up to your budget. Then for $300 more, we have the Skytech Eclipse 2, which after the coupon code that I have in the video description, as I said before, is going to be around $2,490, so that's a very nice $300 discount, and this one is more complete for gaming. You get the Ryzen 7 7800X3D, which as I said before is the fastest CPU in the entire market and is much more stable than the i7 14th gen CPU from the 45L, and then you get the RTX 4080 Super, so same graphics card, but here you also get 32 gigs of RAM. So here you get a system that's much better when it comes to streaming performance, gaming overall, because some games do require more than 16 gigs of RAM in 2024. And then you get the fastest CPU in the entire market, which is more power efficient, more stable, and will achieve higher FPS when it comes to high demanding CPU titles like CS2 or Fortnite. And then you get a 420 all-in-one liquid cooler, which makes it very upgradable over time, because let's say you want to upgrade to a newer CPU from AMD that's going to require much more power. Well, this CPU cooler is going to be able to fit any CPU in the entire market, no matter how beefy that CPU is going to be. And then if you just want the best of the best, so you want the best gaming performance at 4K, the higher frame rates, and you don't want to worry about your system for the next 5 years, then I highly recommend you getting the Prism gaming system from Amazon. This one is also the most expensive one, but it has the RTX 4090, which is the best graphics card in the entire market when it comes to performance, both in terms of ray tracing performance and rasterized performance, and you can expect well over 110 plus FPS when it comes to the most high demanding titles out there, 4K ultra settings, which is pretty impressive. And here for the CPU you get the Ryzen 9 7900X3D, which performs about the same as the 7800X3D. So in terms of CPU performance, it is basically the same as the last one, but again, the 4090 is the best one out there for everything, for multitasking, gaming, productivity work, whatever you want to do. This system is going to be the best one by far, but it's also the most expensive one. I will get to the price in just a second, but I want to say that here you get 32 gigs of RAM as well, and you get a 2TB Gen 4 SSD, so plenty of storage. Now the price is $3,200 when I'm recording this video. Maybe when you're watching this one it's much more expensive because most of these systems are on a discount. So once again, I do recommend you checking the latest pricing and availability from the links down below. But if you have around $3,000 to spend, you will not be disappointed with this system, and it will be able to run any game that you want at 4K or of course 1440p and 1080p. But I would only recommend you buying this system if you have a 4K monitor or if you have a 1440p one, and you will eventually upgrade to 4K down the line. And in the top link in the description you have my personal PC help in case you want me to help you out one-on-one. Thank you guys for watching, thank you for the support, and I will see you on the next one.